Okay, so we're doing Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityanand Balaram. We start with text 41.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Vasudev Sankarshan Pradyumna Anirudh Dutiya Chaturvyuh Ei Turiya Vishud. Translation. Vasudev Sankarshan Pradyumna and Anirudh constitute the second quadruple. They are purely transcendental. So if you recall from our last class, we talked about the first quadruple expansion, the same names, but they are the ones who are doing Dwarka Lila and their first quadruple expansion. Now they're talking about the second one in the spiritual world also, the same names. It's called second quadruple expansion. Now in the purport, there's a lot of very long purport, but it's all about the Mayavad philosophy that Shukracharya established. And he made some interpretations that Prabhupada disagrees with. And there's about 437 to 471, 21 pages of that refuting the points made by Shankaracharya. To be honest with you, I did not understand the points Shankaracharya was making. And so I felt that if I can't understand the point being made, I cannot explain the refutation of those points. So we're going to skip this, but the main point of this whole purport is in the last 3 paragraphs. So if you go to page 471, that's in my book, just before text 42. Let me know when you're there.
Prabhu, please, can you explain? Where do you want us to go?
So go to text 42.
Okay.
And just above that, there's 2 paragraphs. Well, 3 paragraphs, one very small and 2 paragraphs. In my book's page 431, but I don't know what's on yours. It's just about text 42.
So, Prabhuji, this is online. Sorry. So,
Got it, Prabhu.
Go to text 42 and then go back.
I got it, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we are there.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's there.
okay,
They
Prabhu.
have it.
Yeah.
Did you find text 42?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs above that. Start with the original quadruple forms.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so somebody read that paragraph, please. The original quadruple forms.
You want me to read it, Prabhu?
Yes, somebody read that paragraph. Yeah.
The original quadruple forms, Krishna, Baldev, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, expand into another quadruple, which is present in the Vaikuntha planet of the spiritual sky. Therefore, the quadruple form in the spiritual sky are the second manifestation of the original quadruple in Dwarka. As explained above, Vasudev, Sankarshna, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are all changeless, transcendental planetary expansion of the Supreme Lord, who have no relation to the material mode. The Sankarshan form in the second quadruple is not only a representation of Balaram, but also the original cause of the causal ocean, where Karanodakshai Vishnu lies asleep, breathing out the seeds of innumerable universes.
Thank you. So try to remember the slide I had shown where we showed Balaram expands into Narayan, who expands to the first quadruple expansion of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And they're the ones who reside in Dwarka. So they're known as the original quadruple expansion. Then they expand into second quadruple expansion, which are in the spiritual sky of Vaikuntha planets. They don't appear in the material world at all. The second one. So in the second quadruple expansion, Sankarshan is also known as Mahasankarshan. We talked about that some weeks ago. That Mahasankarshan then expands into Karanodakshai Vishnu. or Mahavishnu. Everybody remembers that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's what we're talking about in this paragraph. Okay, so the second Sankarshan is the original cause of the causal ocean as well as Karnakshay Vishnu. Causal ocean is where Karnakshay Vishnu is lying down. I will talk about causal ocean later on in a little bit more detail, but right now that's what's being said here. It's also being said that it's the Karnakshay Vishnu or Mahavishnu who beats out, and when he beats out, all the universes come out of his pores. Okay, everybody remembers that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that paragraph. Next paragraph, please, somebody.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
In the spiritual sky, there is a spiritual creative energy, technically called Shuddh Sattva, which is a pure spiritual energy that sustains all the Vaikuntha planets with the full affluence of knowledge, wealth, prowess, extra. All these actions of Shuddh Sattva displays the potencies of Maha Shankarshana, which is the ultimate reservoir of all individual living entities who are suffering in the material world. When the cosmic creation is annihilated, the living entities who are indestructible by nature rest in the body of Maha Shankarshana. Shankarshana is therefore sometimes called the total jiva. As spiritual spark, the living entities have the tendency to be inactive in the association of the material energy, just as sparks of the fire have the tendency of extinguished as soon as they leave the fire. The spiritual nature of the living entity can be rekindled, however, in association with the Supreme Being, because the living being can appear either in matter or in spirit. The jiva is called the marginal potency.
We'll finish the next paragraph also, just it's very small.
Shankarshana is the origin of Karna Vishnu, who is the original form, who creates the universe, and the Shankarshana is but the plenary expansion of Shri Nityanand Ram.
Jai. So, once again, we're talking about the creative energy known as Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva, if you remember from a previous discussion, we talked about the three potencies, which is Sat, Chit, and Anand. So Shuddha Sattva you can think of as Sat, which is the existence, Chit, which is the knowledge, and Anand, which is the blissful. So this is the energy from the Sat potency, which is the existence. It sustains all the Vaikuntha planets. And because the planets are non-different from Krishna, they have the same six opulences. What are six opulences of Krishna? Anybody knows?
Beauty, full strength, full. Okay, go ahead. Full strength, beauty, and knowledge, and renunciation. Why all this one?
Fame.
Strength,
Strength. Yep.
She already said that.
fame, strength, beauty, wealth, knowledge, and renunciation.
Renunciation.
That's
Yeah.
it. So the same are in the planets also. And then saying the Shuddha Sattva display the potencies of Mahasankarshan. So again, sometimes the name Balaram, Mahasankarshan, Sankarshan, Karnakshay Vishnu is used interchangeably. Okay, so when it says here, display potency of Mahasankarshan, it's not Balaram's potencies that's being manifested. And then it says, when the cosmic manifestation, creation is annihilated, the living entities who are indestructible of nature. So living entities are the soul. Soul is not destructible. Therefore, they don't die with this complete annihilation, but they have to go somewhere. So they go in the womb of Karnakshay Vishnu, again, because the same as Mahasankarshan, that name is being used. This was Sankarshan, therefore sometimes called total jiva, which means aggregate of all the living entities because they lie in him. Okay, as a spiritual sparks, the living entities have a tendency to be inactive with the association of material energy, just as sparks of a fire tendency to be extinguished as soon as they leave the fire. So imagine a fire spark falling down on earth. What happens to it? It loses its luster. But the fire is still there. It loses luster. So that therefore it can be rekindled. You put some air on it, put some dry wood on it, it'll rekindle. So similarly, if we perform the process of devotional service, then the devotional service in our heart, the love for Krishna in our heart is rekindled. That's why we don't say love is created. Love is rekindled. Does everybody get that point? Because love is already there. Yes, no, everybody understands?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Okay.
It's in dormant state.
It's in dormant state, correct, exactly. Okay. And then it says the spiritual nature of living being can be rekindled, however, in association with the Supreme Being. So again, if we associate with Lord Krishna and his devotees, then that love will be rekindled. Okay, and it's explaining why Jiva is called marginal potency, because it can be under the control of either the spiritual energy or the material energy. It can go either way. And therefore, it's called marginal energy. Okay, any questions? Okay, then we'll move to text 42. तहादे रामेर रूप महासंकर्षण शक्ति आश्रयती हो कारणेर कारण. Translation. There in the spiritual sky, the personal feature of Balaram, called Mahasankarshan, is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He's the primary cause, the cause of all causes. So we just talked about it in the explanation of the previous verse. And once again, Krishna is called cause of all causes, Balaram is called all causes of causes, Mahasankarshan is called cause of all causes because they're non-different. Okay?
Yeah.
So the names are being used interchangeably. 43. चित शक्ति विलास एक शुद्ध सत्व नाम शुद्ध सत्व मायाजत वैकुंठादि धाम. Translation. One variety of the pastimes of the spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of Vaikuntha. So, as I was saying before, the previous paragraph we read, all the Vaikuntha planets reside in Vishuddha Sattva. Pure service. Okay? 44. Shadvid Aishwaryataha Sakal Chinmay Sankarshner Vibhuti Sab Jani Hai Nishchay. The 6 attributes are all spiritual. The 6 opulences we talked about, they are all spiritual. Know for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarshan. Okay? It's all coming from Krishna to Balaram to Sankarshan. Furthermore. 45. Jeev Nam तटस्था के एक शक्ति होय महासंकर्षण सब जीवेर आश्रय. This one marginal potency known as Jiva. Mahasankarshan is the shelter of all Jivas. We talked about that also in the previous paragraph. Text 46. जहां होते विश्वोत्पत्ति जहां ते प्रलय सही पुरुषेर संकर्षण समाश्रय. Sankarshan is the original shelter of the Purusha from whom this world is created. So who's the Purusha from whom this world is created? What's the name again?
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu or KaruณVishnu. And in whom it is dissolved. So when it is done, every living entity comes from the womb of Mahavishnu.
Yep.
Right? Are you with me? Okay. Text 47. 7. Sarvashray Sarvadbhut Aishwarya Apar Ananta Kahite Nare Mahima Jahar. He, Sankarshan, is a shelter of everything. He's wonderful in every respect. His opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory. So his glories are so much, so many. Opulences are so infinite that even Anantashesh cannot describe his glory, even though chanting it for since time immemorial. 48. Turiya Vishuddha Sattva Sankarshan Naam Tihojar Anshe Sei Nityananda Ram. Now it comes to the point. That Sankarshan we've been talking about, whose transcendental pure goodness is partial expansion of Nityananda Bhagavan. Okay, so meaning Balaram is non-different from Lord Nityananda, and all these things we're talking about are expansions of Lord Nityananda, who same as Balaram. Everybody with me? Okay, 49. Ashtam Shlokere Kel Sankshepe Vivaran, Navam Shlokere Artha Shunadiyaman. So briefly explain the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. So what's the 9th verse? That's text 50. Maya Bhartan Bharta Janda Sanghashre Angaha Shete Sakshat Karnam Ambodhi Madhye Yasyak Ansha Shri Puman Adi Devas Tam Shri Nityanand Ramam Prapadde. I offer my full obeisances to the feet of Shri Nityananda Ram, whose partial representation called Karnadaksha Vishnu, lying on the current ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of the illusory energy, the shelter of all universes. So again, the word used for Mahavishnu is Pratham Purusha, first Purusha. Right? So he's saying original Purusha. And he is the cause of all the material universes to come out. He's the partial representation of Lord Nityananda Ram, Balaram, and is the master of Maya, the illusory energy, and the shelter of all the universes. Once again, being non-different from Krishna. 51. Vaikuntha Bahire Jai Jyotirmaya Dham, Tahar Bahire Karnanavat Nam. Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence. And beyond that effulgence is the Krishna, the ocean, causal ocean or causal ocean. So everybody remembers the slide? In the material universe, that is the causal ocean. Above that is the Brahman effulgence. Right? So that's what's being said here. Okay? It's coming down from Vaikuntha. So below Vaikuntha is the Brahman effulgence. Below that is the causal ocean. Below that is the material world. Right? Everybody with me? Okay.
Causal ocean or Virja river, same thing, right?
Same as causal ocean, yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's read the purport. Who wants to read the first paragraph?
I'll read it, Prabhuji.
Oh, please go ahead.
The impersonal glowing effulgence known as impersonal Brahman is the outer space of the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. Beyond that impersonal Brahman is the great causal ocean, which lies between the material and spiritual skies. The material nature is a byproduct of this causal ocean.
Okay. So, again, we've been saying this for a long time. The Brahman effulgence, the rays of the body of Krishna, very effulgent. And all the spiritual planets are effulgent because of that. Below the effulgence, the causal ocean of Virja River, which is lying between the material sky and the spiritual sky. Okay. The material nature is a byproduct of the causal ocean, because what happens is that Mahat Tattva that we're talking about becomes like a cloud and covers 1/4 of the Brahman effulgence. So everything under that is called darkness or material world. Everything others outside of that is the spiritual world. Okay. Let's read the next paragraph, please, somebody.
I do, Prabhuji.
Chaitanya, go ahead.
Karnadakshaya Vishnu, who lies on the causal ocean, creates the universe merely by glancing upon material nature. Therefore, Krishna personally has nothing to do with the material creation. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord glances over material nature, and thus she produces the many material universes. Neither Krishna in Gokula nor Nityananda in Vaikuntha comes directly in contact with the material creations. They are completely aloof from the material energy.
Right. So now here the point being made that Krishna has nothing to do with Maya. Krishna has nothing to do with the creation of the material world, because Maya is not allowed to touch it. Therefore, it stays away. and he's simply glancing upon it. And what transfers from the glance to the womb of material nature? What's contained in that glance? Anybody knows?
Sadashiv.
No. What's
Prabhuji,
contained? What's
Jivas,
contained in the?
Ji-
Sorry,
Jivas, the soul.
correct.
Jivas.
The living entities, the jivas, they're contained in the glance. So basically, they're going from the womb of Mahavishnu through the glance to the womb of material nature. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing is that when he does that, at the same time he exhales. So when he exhales, what happens? The material universes
They inhale.
come out of every pore of his body, and they start to float in the causal ocean. So the material nature cannot come in contact with the Virja river. So it stays away. And therefore, it also cannot come in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They stay away. The only contact is through the glance. Okay?
Prabhuji, did you say exhale?
Exhale, yes.
Exhale also, and from his pores also, right?
No. When he exhales,
Yeah,
universes come out of his pores.
I
Not
get
from
it.
his breath, from his pores. Pores like, you have hair on the body. So every hair is a pore.
Yes, Prabhuji. So when he exhales, the universes come out from his pores.
Pores. Yep.
And when he inhales, they go back in.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, so when he inhales, everything is gone. Material is finished.
Prabhu,
Prabhuji, yeah.
Okay?
Prabhuji, 1 second.
Huh.
Prabhu, when you said that when Krishna glances and that he impregnates and then Jiva, right?
Correct.
Jiva. Yeah. So when we say Prakriti, that's a wrong answer, or Jivas are the only Jiva?
I'm sorry, say again?
So my answer was Prakriti, right?
So to what?
So when you ask the question and Ashoka Gauranga Prabhu said Jivas, Jivas come. But my answer was Prakriti. So because what I mean is that every living entity. Is it a wrong answer?
Every living entity is not Prakriti, that in that sense. What we talk about Prakriti, we're talking about material nature. What you're about Prakriti is the enjoyed. That's different.
Okay.
Different meaning. So if you meant in terms of enjoyed, your answer is right.
Okay.
But material nature, the answer is wrong.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Prakriti is used for both senses. So in one sense, you're right.
Okay.
Okay. Next, read the next paragraph.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Bhagavaji.
It is the function of Mahashankarshan in the form of Karnodakshay Vishnu to glance over the material creation, which is situated beyond the limits of the causal ocean. Material nature is connected with the personality of Godhead by his glance over her and nothing more. It is said that she is impregnated by the energy of his glance, the material energy, Maya. Never even touches the causal ocean, for the Lord's glance focuses upon her from a great distance away.
Right. So let me ask you this question. Suppose you are standing in your balcony of your house and you look at something that's 200 meters away. What's your contact with that?
Not touching, but
There's
just
no
glance
contact, right?
by looking.
There's no contact.
No contact.
Same thing here. It's glancing
Yep.
that there's in contact.
Yep.
Similarly, it is saying that it cannot even come near the causal ocean. It's away from that. Okay, there's no direct contact.
Yep.
And therefore, Krishna is completely aloof from the material energy. That's what he says in Gita also.
Yep.
Okay. Says Krishna personally has nothing to do with material creation. Okay. Next paragraph, please, somebody.
The glancing power of the Lord agitates the entire cosmic energy, and thus its actions begin at once. This indicates that matter, however powerful she may be, has no power by herself. Her activity begins by the grace of the Lord, and then the entire cosmic creation is manifested in a systematic way. The analogy of a woman's conception can help us understand the subject to a certain extent. The mother is passive, but the father puts his energy within the mother, and thus she conceives. She supplies the ingredients for the birth of the child in her womb. Similarly, the Lord activates material nature, which then supplies the ingredients for cosmic development.
Yes. So material nature by nature is inert. And it becomes active only when the Lord glances over it. Thus it becomes energized. Okay. So the activity begins only after the Lord glances on it, therefore by the grace of the Lord. And the analogy being given is the man and woman analogy, how the conception takes place. And this is going to explain in more detail in the next paragraph. So it talks about the last line of the paragraph Gayatri just read. The Lord activates material nature, which will supply the ingredients for cosmic development. That's going to be explained in the next paragraph. Somebody read that, please.
I can read, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Yes. Hello.
Material nature has two different phases. The aspect called Pradhan supplies the material ingredients for cosmic development, and the aspect called Maya causes the manifestation of her ingredients, which are temporary, like foam in the ocean. In reality, the temporary manifestations of material nature are originally caused by the spiritual glance of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is the direct or remote cause of creation, and material nature is the indirect or immediate cause. Materialistic scientists, puffed by the magical changes the so-called inventions have brought about, cannot see the real potency of Godhead behind matter. Therefore, the jugglery of science is gradually leading people to godless civilization at the cost of the goal of human life. Having missed the goal of life, materialists run after self-sufficiency, not knowing that material nature is already self-sufficient by the grace of God. Thus, creating a colossal hoax in the name of civilization, they create an imbalance in the natural self-sufficiency of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here's the concept that was being described in the previous paragraph, the knowledge of the mother, being explained further. So there are two phases of material nature. One is called Pradhan, which is supplying all the material ingredients. So what are the material ingredients? Can you name some material ingredients?
Water, fire, air, sky.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
those are the ingredients supplied by Pradhan. Now, Pradhan is very interesting. It's all the material ingredients, when they collapse, they're called Mahat Tattva. And when Mahat Tattva disappears, it's called Pradhan. So when there is no material world, it's only Pradhan existing, the unmanifested form, but it's containing everything. And the first thing that happens is Mahat Tattva comes out, and then all the manifestations of earth, air, water, air, fire, etc. happen. So anyway, the point is, so one phase of material nature is Pradhan, supplying the ingredients. And the second part is the manifestation of the ingredients. Start to see them. Okay? Is that confusing or is that clear? So one is supplier, one is making it visible. Okay? The other was they're not visible. Second thing, I'm sorry, Gayatri, go ahead.
It's a little bit hard to understand this concept of unmanifested.
I'm going to explain this further. I'm going to jump ahead, and I'm going to give the example of a potter. So everybody knows what a potter is. What does a potter do?
He makes pots.
He makes pots. Very good.
Hmm.
What does he use for ingredients for the pots?
The
Clay.
mud.
Clay,
I'm sorry?
clay and
Mud,
Clay,
clay,
mud, and water. Right? Those are the ingredients supplied for the pot. What tools does he use?
a wheel.
Wheel.
He
Wheel.
uses
The wheel.
wheel, something, yeah.
The wheel and a stick to move the wheel.
Hmm.
Right? But who moves the wheel?
The pot.
The potter.
Potter.
Right?
Potter.
So without the potter, can the clay and water mixture produce the pot?
No.
So therefore, the primary cause is the potter. But
Yes.
the immediate cause is the clay and water.
Material. Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes, Prabhu.
So therefore, they're saying the indirect or immediate cause is the clay or water, which is the material nature. Are you with me? Because that's
Yeah.
supplying the ingredients.
Yes.
But who is the remote or the direct cause? The potter. Who's the potter here?
Supreme Personality of Godhead.
You got it.
Mm.
And that is the point being made here. Supreme Personality of Godhead is the direct or remote cause.
Okay.
Material nature is the immediate or indirect cause which is supplying the ingredients. Does that make it clear, Gayatri?
Sure.
Sure. No, if that clear, ask question.
I still understand who's Pradhan in this
I'm sorry?
analogy here.
Say again?
Who's Pradhan in this analogy that you just
Pradhan
gave?
is the supplier of clay. Like, where's clay coming from? It's coming from somewhere. Where's water coming from? It's coming from somewhere.
Mm.
And to bake the pots, you need fire. Where's the fire coming from? It's coming from somewhere.
So Pradhan is the unmanifest form of the Supreme?
Of all the ingredients. All the ingredients like, earth, water, air, fire, etc. They have to go somewhere. So they come from manifested form of Pradhan, which is Mahatattva. But when everything is done, it's called Pradhan. So don't worry about it. Just say it's ingredient supplier.
Okay.
Because again, go back to the potter example. Clay has to come from somewhere. Water has to come from somewhere. Where is it coming from? Pradhan.
But Pradhan is not Krishna. Like everything comes from Krishna, but Pradhan is not Krishna.
Pradhan is not Krishna. Krishna made the Pradhan, but Pradhan is not Krishna. The clay is not Krishna. Water is not Krishna. Comes from Krishna. But water is not Krishna. Clay is not Krishna. The ingredients are not Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I read it in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Mhm.
Is the material nature in its subtle stage.
Yeah, basically unmanifested state is Pradhan. So when there's nothing left, it's Pradhan. When the creation starts, Pradhan first turns into Mahatattva. That's a technical term. Don't worry about it. Think of this supplier of ingredients. The clay and water has to come from somewhere, in the potter example. It's coming from Pradhan.
Okay.
Okay, Gayatri, are you clear now?
Yes.
I'm not going to leave you until you say yes.
Yes, I just said yes. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So let's read the next paragraph then.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
To think of material nature as all in all, not knowing the original cause is ignorance. Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to dissipate this darkness of ignorance by igniting the spark of spiritual life that can, by his causeless mercy, enlighten the entire world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So for somebody to think that clay made the pot is ignorance. The pot is made of clay, but the clay did not make the pot. Clay cannot make the pot by itself. You can walk by any river all the mud and clay and water everywhere, but there's no pots. Somebody has to make it. And that's the potter, and that's Krishna. Clay and water and mud, they're just ingredients. They're lying there, can't do anything by themselves. Okay? So Lord Chaitanya came and explained the whole concept of soul and Bheda philosophy and Supreme Lord, our relationship with Him. That's what He has done, enlightened the world. Okay, it'll become even more clear. Next paragraph. Who wants to read that? Did we already run out of people?
I do, Prabhu.
Hi, Chaitanya.
To explain how Maya acts by Krishna's power, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the example of an iron rod in the fire. Although the rod is not fire, it becomes red hot and acts like fire itself. Similarly, all the actions and reactions of material nature are not actually the work of material nature, but are actions and reactions of the energy of the Supreme Lord manifested through matter. The power of electricity is transmitted through the medium of copper, but that this does not mean that the copper is electricity. The power is generated at a powerhouse under the control of an expert living being. Similarly, behind all the jugglery of the natural laws is a great living being who is a person like a mechanical engineer in the powerhouse. It is by his intelligence that the entire cosmic creation moves in a systematic way. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. So, very good example being given of the iron rod in a fire. So, you leave the iron rod, the fire long enough, it will become like fire. But iron rod is not fire. It got energized by the fire. Is that concept clear?
Yes.
Fire can do what fire can do. Right? Another example being given is electricity running through copper wire. Copper wire is not electricity. Electricity is coming from somewhere else. So similarly, material nature has no energy. Material nature cannot be active, but is acting and reacting by the energy supplied by the Lord. And that is why they say different and non-different at the same time. So it's the energy of the Lord that's causing everything to happen. Is that point clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Let's read the next paragraph.
I can read, Prabhu. I don't know.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
The modes of nature which directly cause material actions are also originally activated by Narayan. A simple example will explain how this is so. When a potter manufactures a pot from clay, the potter's wheel, his tools, and the clay are the immediate causes of the pot. Sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, my device shut off. Sorry, I have to restart. You can
okay,
ask
sorry.
someone else. Prabhu. Sorry.
Okay, somebody take over.
I can read from that
Can
where
read it,
Mataji left.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
When a potter manufactures a pot from clay, the potter's wheel, his tools, and the clay are the immediate causes of the pot, but the potter is the chief cause. Similarly, Narayana is the chief cause of all material creations, and the material energy supplies the ingredients of matter. Therefore, without Narayana, all other causes are useless, just as the potter's wheel and tools are useless without the potter himself. Since materialistic scientists ignore the personality of Godhead, it is as if they were concerned with the potter's wheel and its rotation, the potter's tools and ingredients for the pots, but had no knowledge of the potter himself. Therefore, modern science has created an imperfect, godless civilization that is in gross ignorance of the ultimate cause. Scientific advancement should have a great goal to attain, and the great goal should be the personality of Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after conducting research for many, many births, great men of knowledge who stress the importance of experimental thought can know the personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes. When one knows him perfectly, one surrenders unto him and then becomes a Mahatma.
Thank you. So again, we've been discussing the same thing, that if for somebody to say that the potter's wheel and tool and the clay, they are immediate cause, but that's all you need, it's not very knowledgeable. The potter is the chief cause. Without the potter, nothing will happen. Similarly, material nature cannot act by itself, it's inert. Only when energized by the power of the Lord, it becomes active. Therefore, for the scientists or anybody to ignore the God, it causes godless society and all sorts of imperfections and ignorance, because people don't understand the ultimate cause. The cause of all causes is the Lord. And Prabhupada is recommending that scientists should learn to recognize the power of the God. And then he says, he's quoting 7:19, Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, text 19, Bahunam jananamante jnanavan mam prapadite. Vasudeva sarvamiti samatma sudurima. So basically, after many, many births, some people, or great men, says, of knowledge, they understand that the Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. But that's very rare. Kind of lamenting it here, that not many people understand God is behind everything. They think it's the universe, the material nature that's all powerful, but that's not so. Neither the universe nor material nature have any power without being empowered by the Lord. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, let's do 52. वैकुंठ बेड़िया एक आचजल निधि अंतर अपार, sorry, अनंत अपार तार नाहिक अवधि. Surrounding Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. So what's that water? Anybody knows? What water is being referred to here? Surrounding the Vaikuntha planets.
Causal.
Yeah, causal ocean, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, which will be explained later. 53. Vaikuntha पृथ्वी आदि सकल चिन्मय माइक भूत तेरे से भी जन्म नाही होए. The earth, water, fire, air, ether, Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. So it is not like earth, water, fire, air, ether are not in Vaikuntha Loka. They're there also. But there they are spiritual. Whereas in the material world, they are not spiritual, they're material. Like 54. चिन्मय जल से परम कारण चा एक कना गंगा पतित पावन. The water of the Karan ocean, just original cause, is therefore spiritual. The second Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen soul. So what's the connection between Ganges and Karan ocean?
What's
Talking-
the question?
I'm sorry?
What is your question, please?
It talks about sacred Ganges in this translation. And I'm saying, what is the connection between Karan ocean and Ganges?
It's actually the Karan ocean touching Vamandev's foot that's coming
Right.
down the
Exactly.
Ganges.
So Ganges is nothing but trickling down of the causal ocean water. Okay? Because it touched the lotus feet of the Lord, became so purified. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's purified anyway. It's spiritual in nature to start with. Okay, text 55. Sahi the Karnavay, Sahi Sankarshan, Apnar Ek Anshe Karene Shayan. In that ocean lies a plenary portion of the Lord Sankarshan. Who's that person? Who's lying on
Ananta Shesh.
No. Who's lying on the causal ocean?
Mahavishnu Prabhu?
Mahavishnu, yes. Or Karnadaksha Vishnu.
Karnadaksha.
Same. Two names of the same person.
Yep.
56. महत श्रेष्ठा पुरुषा तिहो जगत कारण आद्य अवतार करे मायाई क्षण. He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of the total material energy. He, the cause of the universe, the first incarnation, casts his glance over Maya. So, what is the definition of incarnation?
Like,
Huh?
like produces or comes.
I'm sorry?
Incarnation. Appears or
It appears.
He incarnates means he takes another birth in another
No, no,
form.
the incarnation, the first incarnation.
So
So
we
he's
can
known
say
as the
expansion.
He's an expansion who gets involved in the process of creation. Either that or appears in the material world. So two definitions of incarnation. Either gets involved in the process of creation or appears in the material world. Okay? So
Understood.
he's the first Purusha. So there are three Purushas, right?
Hmm.
Who are the three Purushas?
Karunadakshaya, Garbhodakshaya, and Shirodakshaya.
Correct. So there are three Purushas. He's the first one. He's the creator of the total planet energy because as we talked about, he is producing the universes from his pores and is sending the living entities from his glass. That's total creation. Okay? 57. Maya Shakti Rahe Kar Napthir Pahire Karan Samudra Maya Parashite Nare. Maya Shakti resides outside the Karan ocean. We talked about that. Maya cannot touch its water. So Maya cannot touch causal ocean. 58. Seite Maya Dui Vidhi Avastiti Jagater Upadan Pradhan Prakriti. So it's being repeated now. We talked about this already. Being repeated. Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti, supplies the ingredients of the material world. Right? We talked about that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the purport. So read the first paragraph, please.
I'll read it. Professor.
Go ahead.
Maya, the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is divided into two parts. Maya is both the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the agent who supplies its ingredients. As the cause of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Maya. As the agent supplying the ingredients of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhana. An explicit description of these divisions of external energy is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 24, Text 1 to 4. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:63-26, the ingredients and cause of material cosmic manifestations are described as follows.
Okay. So again, the same is being repeated. Two features or two parts of Maya. One is the supplier of the ingredients called Pradhan, and one is manifestation of it, right? Okay. So now somebody wants to read the verse.
I can read, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Kalu daivam karma jiva swabhavo travayam kshetram prana atma vikara tatsangato bijaroha pravahas tvanmaya shatan nishedam prapadye. O my Lord, time, activity, providence, and nature are four parts of the causal aspect of the external energy. The conditioned vital force, the subtle material ingredients called the dravya, and material nature, which is the field of activity where the false ego acts as the soul, as well as the 11 senses and 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which are the 16 ingredients of body. These are the ingredient aspect of Maya. The body is generated from activity, and activity is generated from the body. Just as a tree is generated from a seed that is generated from a tree. This reciprocal cause and effect is called Maya. My dear Lord, you can save me from this cycle of cause and effect. I worship your lotus feet.
Very important.
So powerful. Okay, so the prayer is being made that the four aspects of Maya: time, activity, providence, and we explain that, and nature. Right? The what do you call it? Material nature is the, sorry, give me a second.
Maya.
The conditioned vital force is that's jiva. Subtle material ingredients called the dravya. So what are subtle material ingredients? Anybody knows?
Dravya.
Now what are the example of that?
Mind,
Ego,
ego, and
mind, ego,
Exactly, you got it. And the material nature is the field of activity where the false ego acts as a soul. So in the material nature, we think we are this body, that's false ego, right? And the 11 senses, what are the 11 senses? 5 knowledge gathering, 5 sense working, and mind. That's 11 senses. 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Total 16 ingredients of the body. So these are the ingredient aspects of Maya. So when we kept talking about ingredients supplied, these are the ingredients that are supplied by Maya. Okay? And then very interesting, the body that we have is generated from the activity, and activity is generated from the body, just like a tree is generated from a seed that is generated from a tree.
Yeah.
Is that example clear?
Yep.
So this is reciprocal cause and effect. Seed gives rise to tree gives seed gives a tree gives seed. That is the unending cycle of birth and death. Okay, and that is called Maya.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Okay.
So here it says the activity is generated from the body and body is generated from the activity.
Correct.
So that is like the activity is the glands of the.
No. We're talking Maya here. We're talking us. We're talking in the material world.
So how the activity is creating the body?
How is child produced?
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Prabhu, can I ask you a question, Prabhu?
Only if you want to.
Prabhu, so these ingredients, when we say air, water, so they have particular devta, who's employed.
Yes.
So I don't know. How do I forgot my question. So when these ingredients, this ingredient has been given by Lord, right? We say, and then he employs them. Is it like that?
But basically, the devtas are appointed. So fire god is appointed as fire god. Varuna is appointed as water god. Okay. So they're appointed. The jivas, they're appointed.
Okay.
Okay. Is that your question?
No, this was my question. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
One second, Prabhuji. What time, activity? What is providence here?
Providence is basically think of them as karma, because providence basically means the result of something that happened in the past. Okay. Generally speaking, providence means God, but here we're not talking about God because it's material nature. So this is think of them as karma.
Karma.
The results of your previous activities. So current activities are the result of your previous activities. Destiny, if you want to think of it. Destiny.
Destiny. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Okay. Who wants to read the next paragraph?
I can read, Prabhuji. Although the living entity is primarily related to the causal portion of Maya, he is nevertheless conducted by the ingredients of Maya. Three forces work in the causal portion of Maya: knowledge, desire, and activity. The material ingredients are the manifestation of Maya as pradhan. In other words, when the three qualities of Maya are in a dormant state, they exist as Prakriti, Avyakt, and or Pradhan. The word Avyakt, referring to the non-manifested, is another name of Pradhan. In the Avyakt stage, the material nature is without varieties. Varieties are manifested by the Pradhan portion of Maya. The word Pradhan is therefore more important than Avyakt or Prakriti.
Okay, so this is basically what I was saying in answer to Gayatri's question earlier. When it's manifested, it's called Mahatattva and all the ingredients come out. And because unmanifested or Avyakta, it becomes Pradhan. Okay.
I have a question. You know when it says like Maya, it's time, activity, providence, and nature.
I'm sorry, say again. Say again.
Sorry, the four aspects of, or the four parts of Maya. It says time, activity, providence, and nature.
Right.
I think the only one I'm having a little bit difficult time is like activity, because activity in my mind involves movement. It involves an action.
Correct.
And it cannot, like Maya can't do any action because it's not alive. What's alive is, the jiva that's been supplied by the Supreme. So how is the action part also part of Maya?
Read the full sentence. What does it say? Four parts of the causal aspect of the external energy, not material nature, external energy, which means Maya after it's been empowered.
I thought Maya was external energy.
No, but here you're right. Maya is being used in a different sense here. Sometimes we say Maya is external energy. Here Maya has been talked about as material nature, with two parts. So because Maya is used for both, you're getting confused.
Okay.
So he's saying Maya of the external energy, right, as opposed to Prakriti or material nature. That's been defined later on in the last paragraph we just read. So the ingredients talk about, and the dormant or unmanifest, there's Prakriti, Avyakta, or Pradhan. So Maya can be external energy, Maya can be Pradhan, Maya can be manifestation of that. And that's why the same word is being used. It's like Atma. Atma has so many meanings. Atma can mean soul, Atma can mean body, Atma can mean.
Okay.
Haribol? Okay. All right. So you understand what I'm saying? It's different meanings.
Okay. Okay.
All right. 59.
Hare
Jagatakar. I'm sorry, Usha?
Yes. What is providence?
Yeah, we just talked about it. Destiny. It's another word for it.
Okay.
बीच में थोड़ा सो गई तुम.
बीच में.
Karma.
Okay. Destiny. Think of it as destiny.
Yes.
Okay. Text 59. जगत कारण है प्रकृति जल रूपा शक्ति संचार्या तारे कृष्ण करे कृपा. So again, that is question being answered here. Translation. Because Prakriti is dull and inert, it cannot actually be the cause of the material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature. Okay, Gayatri? So only after the energy has been infused, it starts to become active. Okay, text 60. Krishna Shakti Prakritir hoye gaun karan, Agni Shakti Laho jaise karaye jaran. A lot of repetition here. Thus, Prakriti by the energy of Lord Krishna becomes a secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by the energy of the fire. Okay, we talk about that. 61. अतएव कृष्ण मूल जगत कारण प्रकृति कारण जैसे अज अजा गल स्तन Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. In other words, they're useless. So Prakriti by itself is useless. It becomes useful only after being infused by the energy of the Lord. Okay, so go back to the example of the potter, the wheel, and the clay and water. Clay and water, the wheel cannot do anything by themselves. But if the potter rotates it, puts it into shape, then pot is produced. Okay, we'll explain further in the purport. So let's do that. Who wants to read the purport?
I'll read it, Prabhuji, the first paragraph.
Go ahead, please.
The external energy composed of Pradhan or Prakriti as the ingredient supplying portion and Maya as the causal portion is known as Maya Shakti. Inert material nature is not the actual cause of the material manifestation. For Karanara Vishaye Mahavishnu, the plenary expansion of Krishna activates all the ingredients. It's in this way that material nature has the power to supply the ingredients. Example given is that iron has no power to heat or burn, but after coming in contact with fire, the iron becomes red hot and can then diffuse heat and burn other things. Material nature is like iron, for it has no independence to act without the touch of Vishnu, who is compared to fire. Lord Vishnu activates material nature by the power of his glance, and then the iron-like material nature becomes a material supplying agent, just as iron made red hot becomes a burning agent. Material nature cannot independently become an agent for supplying the material ingredients. This is more clearly explained by Sri Kapila Dev as an incarnation of Godhead in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.28.40.
Okay. So once again, the point being made is that the two components. One is the ingredient supply component, other is the activity or the causal portion, right? The two combined are called Maya Shakti. So that's one point. Second point being made is material nature cannot be the cause because of the manifestation, material manifestation, because without the potter, without the Lord, it cannot do anything. So he's the one who activates all the ingredients. Okay, and that is how the material nature gets the power to supply the ingredients, the pradhan part. Okay, otherwise they're staying in dormant or unmanifest stage. It goes back to the analogy of the iron heated in the fire, because like fire. Similarly, infused with the power by the Lord, material nature becomes active like the Lord himself. Okay, is that clear or is that still confusing? I mean, you said the same thing about 5 times already. So once again, material nature cannot independently become an agent for supplying the material ingredients until it's infused with the power of the Lord. And that's what we explained in the verse also. So who wants to read the verse?
I'll try reading it. Lila.
Okay, go ahead.
Yatholmukad Vishpulingad Dhrumadvapi Svar Sambhavad Api Atma Vyabhimatad Yathagni Prathag Ulomukad. Although smoke, flaming wood, and sparks are all considered together as ingredients of a fire, the flaming wood is nevertheless different from the fire, and the smoke is different from the flaming wood. The material elements, earth, water, fire, etc., are like smoke, the living entity like sparks, and material nature as Pradhan is like the flaming wood. But all of them together are recipients of power from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are thus able to manifest their individual capacities. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of all manifestations. Material nature can supply only when it is activated by the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, so hopefully it makes it one more clear. So now they're talking about different aspects. So living entities are like sparks of the fire. The wood is like the ingredients, right? And the smoke is the material elements. None of them is the fire itself, but combined they make the fire. Okay, and none of it is manifested until infused with the power of the Lord. So material nature is inert until the Lord glances over it. Is that any more clear or?
Very clear, Lord. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next paragraph then. Do we have a reader?
I
Can
can
I
read.
read, Prabhuji?
Go ahead, Paul.
Just as a woman can deliver a child after being impregnated by the semen of a man, so material nature can supply the material elements after being cleansed upon the Mahavishnu. Therefore, Pradhana cannot be independent of superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya Dakshina Parkati Suyate Sa Characharam. Prakriti, the total material energy, works under the superintendence of the Lord. The original source of the material elements is Krishna. Therefore, the attempt of the atheist Sankhya philosophers to consider material nature the source of these elements, forgetting Krishna, is useless, like trying to get milk from the nipple-like bumps of the skin hanging on the neck of a goat.
Right. So once again, same things being repeated, that a woman cannot deliver a child by herself. And similarly, Pradhan cannot supply any ingredients without the superintendence or infusion of power by the Lord. Okay, and words from Bhagavad Gita is being quoted here, Maya Dakshin Prakriti Surite Sachatan. Dr. Krishna is saying that this particular word is working under my superintendence, which means supplies the power for this to do it. And therefore, anybody who tries to say that material nature is the source of these elements is wrong, because Krishna is the real supply. Okay. Text 62. Maya अंश नहीं तारे निमित्त कारण सेहु नह जाते करता हेतु नारायण. The Maya aspect of material nature is the immediate cause of the cosmic manifestation, but it cannot be the real cause, or the original cause is not done. So go back again. Oh, okay. Next paragraph explains this further. कटेर निमित्त हेतु जैसे कुंभकार तैसे जगत तेरे करता पुरुष अवतार. Just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purush incarnation, Karnam Shai Vishnu. Okay, everybody clear on that? I think we said 5, 6 times. It's explained different ways. The 64. Krishna Karta Mayatar Karen Sahai Ghatayar Karan Chakra Dandadi Upay. Lord Krishna is the creator, and Maya only helps him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel and other instruments, which are the instrumental causes of a pot. 65. दूर है ते पुरुष तारे मायाते अवधान जीव रूप वीर ताते करेन आधान. The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. Okay, I think we'll stop here because the next verse is long paragraph. We won't be able to finish it today. So I'm going to stop here and see if there are any questions or comments. We're stopping at 65.
Prabhuji,
Huh.
when we go back when Mahavishnu inhales, we go back in him, right?
Right.
And again, when he feels like creating or when he wants to enjoy, again we are created. So the thoughts that we went through, we come back with the same, sorry, not the thoughts, the mind, ego, intelligence, we come same way out. Is it that then?
Yeah, the subtle body is not destroyed.
So we come out with
body,
saying our karmas and our desires according to same, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, Prabhuji, no question. Thank you so
Okay.
much for the class.
You're welcome.
Everything is becoming clear with passing time with you.
Yeah, it is
So,
complex.
Babaji, I have a question.
Huh.
So, subtle body is Maya, right?
I'm
It's
sorry.
not real. Subtle body, is it Maya? Is it material? The subtle body.
What?
Sorry.
1 second. The subtle body, you know,
Subtle
the
body.
mind,
Yeah,
ego,
yeah.
they're still ingredients of the material world.
No, these are all material. Subtle body is totally material.
Is right, exactly. So when we say that the material nature does not touch Mahavishnu, but then at the same time, when he inhales and all the jivas have gone back, all the subtle elements have also gone in him, right?
Correct.
With the individual jivas.
Correct.
So we are inside of him, but he's, you know, it seems like Maya is coming in, the material aspects are coming in contact with, because he's taking everything in.
So material energy is not coming, material nature is not coming. These three subtle elements are going in the womb of Narayan.
Yes. But they're also material. They're not spiritual.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. It just created like this question, because it's like, again, it's saying like, you know, he is the, and I understand that part, he is the source of everything that's been activated. He is the energy. He is the creator. But I guess it was also mentioned again and again that he never comes in contact with the material nature, but some aspect of the material nature enters inside of him.
I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I think that sounds like a little bit of contradiction, but yeah, that's true. Because if the subtle body did not go with it, then how will Brahman know next time what the karmas are?
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
I know it does go for sure, but I understand your point about contradiction here. Yeah. Don't know how to answer that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, a quick question before we end. जो भगवान कहते हैं कि he will take out the person out of hell just like a drop which falls from the lotus flower. एक श्लोक है ना जिसमें वो कहते हैं कि मैं जैसे एक कमल के पत्ते के पे पानी की बूंद होती है, मैं उस तरह से नरक से निकाल देता हूँ उस जीव को जो निरंतर मेरा नाम ले रहा है. तो निरंतर का मतलब निरंतर है जैसे प्योर डिवोटीज लेते हैं, हमेशा भगवान का स्मरण करते हैं, या 16 राउंड से है? क्योंकि 16 राउंड्स का लॉजिक ये है कि जितनी आप एक दिन में श्वास लेते हो उससे ज्यादा आप भगवान का नाम ले लेते हो, तो यू मस्ट चैंट एटलीस्ट 16 राउंड्स.
I never heard that. So I don't know how authentic that is. But
मैं आपको नेक्स्ट क्लास में ढूंढ के ना I'll recite the exact.
Kirtaniya Sadahari means satatam, no stopping. You know, in Bhagavatam it says, Sabha Punsam Parodharmo Jito Bhakti Hatopsta Ahataki Apratihata. Apratihata means constantly no stopping. Kirtaniya Sadahari means no stopping. Tatam Kirtiyanto Ma means no stopping. 16 round is a concession to us because we won't do more than that. Srila Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj said, if anybody is chanting less than 64 rounds, he's not even a human being. So this is a concession by Srila Prabhupada to us because we are rascals. We won't do more than 2 hours.
तो निरंतर जाप तो हम
Nirantar means all the time. There's no
all the time.
all the time तो नहीं हो पाएगा प्रभु जी, कैसे होगा all the time?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's my point. That Prabhupada said you can't chant all the time. So it's minimum. But minimum, that doesn't mean maximum. Minimum.
तो हम भगवान की कंसिडरेशन में है ना कि हमें भी नर्क वर्क जाना पड़ेगा.
Sorry?
हम मतलब भगवान की कंसिडरेशन में है कि हमें भी नर्क वगैरह जाना पड़ जाएगा।
नर्क में तो ऑलरेडी है। रियल वर्ल्ड इज नर्क।
तो वो 3rd डिग्री टॉर्चर वाला है
वो ठीक है, but I'm saying that, but all that Lord is saying is that if you're chanting in hell, he doesn't care. He'll come to hell and take you.
ओके।
But you have to be chanting. Satatam is all the time. Satatam is no break.
हरे कृष्णा पिताश्री।
Nandimukhi, Hare Krishna, how are you?
यस, हरे कृष्णा पिताश्री, वो बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं आप। आई एग्री विद यू कि हाँ 24 आवर हमें चैंटिंग करना चाहिए। तभी 24 आवर इन द सेंस सोते समय भी हमारे अंदर चैंटिंग का जाप चलना चाहिए।
That's right.
बट पिताश्री ये भी कहते हैं, प्रभुपाद जी ये भी कहते हैं कि काम भी, और भगवान भी कहते हैं कर्म ही पूजा है, काम भी करना है तो कई बार फोकस करना पड़ता है जैसे हर चीज में। तो फिर वो चैंटिंग भी करेंगे तो काम में फोकस नहीं लगेगा, तो वो कैसे मेंटेन करें हम लोग?
So first of all, I don't think Krishna ever said karma hi puja hai. That's interpretation of other people. Krishna never said that. So that's one point. Second point is, sorry?
जी हाँ जी पिताश्री।
Okay, second point is that, it says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 7, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam manaspajitya may arpita mano buddhi mame vashisha sanshaya. It says, therefore do your duty by constantly remembering me. So whether you are doing arti or you're raising your child or you're cooking or doing your work or whatever you're doing, always remember Krishna. It's doing that. Kirtaniya Sadahari doesn't necessarily mean you say Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare 24 hours a day. Because you're right, you are doing other work. But as long as your consciousness is that this is the work given to me by Krishna, I'm doing this work for Krishna, I'm giving the results to Krishna, whatever I get is by mercy of Krishna, everything is about Krishna. This is Satatam Kirtantya. Right? He says, what's that word? 10, 10, 10. What is it? Dadan Bhuhi Yogam Tam Yen Mam Upyandate.
Shyama Satata Yuktanam.
Tesham Satata Yuktanam, yes. Tesham Satata Yuktanam, right? So, again, he says Satatam all the time. Right? This another word used Nitya. So, if you go back to chapter 10, text 8, what does it say? Mat chitta madgat prana. Bhojantas parasparam. Kathiyantas mam nitya.
Shanticha Ramantija.
Nitya. Right? Nitya. All the time. Nitya doesn't mean once a day. Nitya means all the time. So everyone is saying all the time.
ओके, थैंक यू पिताश्री। ट्राई करेंगे, हो नहीं पाता पर ट्राई करते हैं।
I mean, we are all trying. We are all in the material world. There are some constraints. There are some problems. There are some obstacles. But this whole process of devotional service to get rid of those obstacles. And it is not impossible. You can be working. I mean, okay, let me ask you this. When Arjuna was fighting the battle of Kurukshetra, he was throwing these arrows. Do you know what he did before he threw the arrows? Or any warrior in those days, before they shot the arrow, what did they have to do? They had to chant a mantra specific to whatever type of arrow they want to shoot. So they want to shoot an arrow that will become 10 arrows, an arrow that become fire, an arrow that become nuclear bomb. There are different mantras for it. So do you think Arjuna was saying Hare Krishna when shooting the arrows? Right? But how was he doing Satatam Kirtanta then? How was Arjuna doing Satatam Kirtanta when he was reading all these mantras?
Prabhu, he had Krishna with him, right?
No, let me finish, okay? He was shooting arrows fast and furious. Like maybe literally, I don't know the number, but maybe 50 per minute. The hands were moving very fast. Mantras were being chanted very fast. He had to look around, who's shooting at him? Right? So that's how was he remembering? Was he remembering by saying, I'm doing this for Krishna. I didn't want to do this, but I'm doing this for Krishna. He told me to. So his whole focus was, I'm doing this for Krishna. But he's chanting his mantras, he's shooting his arrows, defending himself, defending attacking other side. He was under pressure. Was he under pressure or not?
Not a pressure.
Huh? We can't imagine that pressure.
No.
Imagine Bhishma Pitama standing in front of us shooting his arrows. We don't know what that pressure is like. We get worried about, oh, I got deadline coming up, or I got to finish this assignment, or I got this client yelling at me. That's nothing. We don't know what real pressure is. Ask Arjun what it feels like. But he was still Satatam Kirtantoma. Why? He said, I'm doing this for Krishna. That's what it means. Never get him out of mind. And did Arjun depend upon Krishna through the whole war? Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Right. So that's his remembering. He said, Krishna's here, he'll save me. What was he doing to Krishna as he was fighting? I don't know if you know this. What was Arjun doing to Krishna?
He was guiding Krishna.
Huh?
Wasn't he guiding Krishna?
No,
Turn
he was
this way,
guiding
turn
Krishna.
that.
How was he guiding Krishna?
He was kicking him.
You
saying,
got it.
Yeah.
Arjun was actually kicking Krishna on the shoulders.
Shoulders, yeah.
Turn left, turn right, go straight.
Yep.
Imagine, Satatam Kirtantam is kicking Krishna. Don't try to do that. But my point is, he was totally focused on doing this for Krishna. That's what Satatam means. That's what Chaitanya Sadahari means.
Yes, Pitashri, we will try, but it's not easy.
Well, yeah, no, it's not easy. Nobody's saying it's easy. You have to try. If you don't try, you will succeed.
I know, but thank you so much, Pitashri.
You're welcome.
Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Okay, Richina, Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, Vancha Kalpiturubhyascha
Thank
Kripasa.
Krishna Namo
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Shiksha Guru ki jai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.